Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. Today, we are going to talk about the dark moon that is connected with the beginning of the Chinese New Year, the Chinese New Year of the wood dragon. And you might have heard already that a lot of whispers about the wood dragon is happening, how powerful this year will going to be. And as you can see here, when I share now the screen with you, this is quite accurate. You see that cluster here? This is very powerful. So we have here a rising sign and sun and moon right coming up in first house. The first house is always connected with the beginning of something. Aries is like the breakthrough moment, something is breaking through. And when we have that together in combination with Capricorn, which is connected with the, we can say with the skeleton, you might remember that I was telling you that Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, is the one that tears down every camouflage. And then you can see the clear structure behind it. Like, for example, in winter, when you have all the trees fall, all the leaves falling from the tree, and you can see really the stem and the branches. Or it's also connected with the skeleton of the human body. And this is also something how important it is, the skeleton, because if we wouldn't have that skeleton, we would just be a lump of flesh. So I don't understand why certain traditions declare Saturn as the enemy. It is anyway very difficult if we start to judge here. Every planet is, in a way, the representative of a certain energy. And I can maybe also just say here at the moment too that the stars are not influencing us. This is also a very, very big misunderstanding, because the stars are representatives of a certain cycle. And even say if a star wouldn't be there, the cycle would be there still anyway, and we would find it somewhere in a symbolic way. And this is what the stars are. This is also why it doesn't make sense when you look at the Western astrology, which is connected with the seasons. Like if you look at the SkyView Astrology, as I do with the real star constellation, you can go out at night and you can see those stars. And if you have a program, there is Star Walk, and I usually use Stellarium, but that is probably much older. Then you can see the real star constellation and you can see where the stars are. So I'm really not completely sure why somebody can still today fall for Western astrology, which is actually 20 degrees, 28 degrees apart from the real constellation. We can say that is a picture that was in the sky about 2000 years ago. So, and also astrology has nothing to do with the seasons. We have to see that in a very, very big frame of the ground solar year of the 25,920 years. This is actually the whole circle around. And we are not yet, I'm sorry to disappoint probably many of you, we are not yet in the age of Aquarius. It takes us another about 600 years to get there. But what we are the opposite of some other constellations that are triggering in the moment this transition where we're at. But we have to see things in a much, much bigger frame. There are also some planets that we actually call the trans-Neptunians, and they show also the slower cycles, a little bit similar like the Mayan calendar. So coming back here, so we have in first house, in the house of the breakthrough of the new beginnings, we have the last sign of Earth, Capricorn, which is the sign that things are dying here to get ready to move into their spiritual aspect. And you can see that Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is in Aquarius. And here we have sun and moon, which represents, we can say, the polarity of humankind, moon, sun, positive, negative. And I don't want to go here into duality that is judging. It's not about good and bad. It is about breathing in and breathing out day and night. And this is what is so important here to understand. We can only move forward and make life better if we don't go into duality and judge things, but look at that everything what is happening now too is what we have created at one point. So if we have been on a really bad down slope, we can say going very, very deep into this duality, into judgment, into negative energy. Now we are turning around and moving forward and going up again into the light. And Saturn also stands there to guarantee that it happens. And especially also to guarantee that all these beings who are not ready to go to the light, that are eliminated, that are kind of stripped naked here so that everybody can see what they are and who they are. So with Saturn here for the personal year that is coming up for all of us, what it means is that we are, can you say that, in a trial phase, in a way that if you ever want to talk about when you die, the judgment or something like that, that would be it. And this is not, again, not the judgment in polarity, but in duality, but in polarity, because the only thing what has to be correct is that everything is balanced. It has to be balanced, not here and not here. So we are now reminded in this year to balance ourselves. Whatever is not yet done, we have to do. And here we have Libra in house 9 that is connected with Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Aries. And Aries, again, we have the connection to the first house, the breakthrough into something new. And Jupiter will tell us that we have to see things beyond that boundary, that like we had this top, we could not move beyond that. This top is moving away. Now we have to go beyond. Remember, when you see the sign, it looks like an arrow that is penetrating the horizontal. It's not correct here when you look at it, but it's an arrow going through the horizontal line. That means that we move through the horizontal line to the part of the polarity which is also connected with the material life. Because when you look at the cross, we have both. We have, again, yin and yang. It's polarity, and we need polarity, but we are moving like this. It's not that time is moving. We are moving, and we conceive it as time. And this is what the time frame for us is about, that the moving through, the moving forward through different experiences. And depending on the consciousness level, we will experience things in a different way. Now we are being forced to rise our consciousness level to the spiritual understanding, to understand that, first of all, we create everything. Nothing is happening by coincidence. That our fears and negativity and our ignorance in these last years and centuries, we can say, have created what is coming to the surface now. And this is, again, it's not, again, you're good or you're bad, but it's just what happened because we have been incarnating in the deepest darkness to experience what it means to be in the darkness. Because when we are still spiritual being in the light, we have no idea about that. So that was the part of our journey, of our adventure. And I mentioned that before, that at sometime the planet has been hijacked by these dark entities. And maybe this is a good thing also to remind us that darkness in itself doesn't have any life. And this is why the dark ones can survive, because we give them, we light beings, feed them with our life energy. So the moment you stop feeding them, they cannot exist anymore. How do we feed them? With our fear, with our obedience. with stepping back and letting them rule, letting them do what they want, and agreeing or at least ignoring the negative part of it. And like, for example, paying taxes, things like that belongs all in this category. Or accepting this shot, you remember? This is all based on fear. That is all based on this negative energy that will make like holes in our aura, make holes in our energy body that those dark ones can latch on and take out. Now in this year of the dragon, what we have to do and what is happening is actually to pull down all this camouflage, to pull down all the makeup and everything. And we can see that mostly the work of the dark ones is under the coat of, like, coat of humanitarian help and positive things. But if you go a little bit closer, you can also see that the whole trafficking and everything that is connected with it is usually happening exactly there. Now, what we have to do is we have to look at it. There is a saying, is what you look at disappears. That means when you resist it, it will stay there. What you resist persists, what you look at disappears. So it is our job in this year to be very, very open and alert and look very closely on what is happening. And how can you know what to do? It's relatively simple. Listen to your heart. What is your passion? What you want to do? What feels right? And this is not something that your logical mind can determine. This is about your feeling, and the feeling is connected with the divine source within you. So the moment that you reconnect with your feeling, you know exactly what you should do. And those who still have a doubt, remember, you can ask. If you are a Christian, you could ask, what would Jesus do now? If you're a Buddhist, you can ask, what would Buddha do now? And then you go for that. And not what would my ego, my cowardness, my fear, whatever it is, what would that do? Step back. But now, don't be lazy. Laziness is just kind of pull you down. Stand up and do something about it. And also, the more people stand up, the more people resist, the faster we are through this whole difficult time, that the light can really shine again when these dark ones are gone. And I can feel, and that is the psychic part of me, let's put it that way, that this year will be the year that will tear everything apart. And so you have to be ready for things that happen. And even if it looked maybe horrible for the moment, it is not, but it is needed. First of all, to eliminate the darkness. These are events that are connected with the light, and to wake up those who are just about to wake up. Those who are deep down in slumber and in the negative energy, they will not wake anymore. It's the time's gone. So don't worry about this. They will just go and incarnate on different planes or levels. And at one point, they will come to the same energy frequency again, and they will have a chance to ascend too. Nobody's really is lost. It's not about that. So don't worry about it. You cannot eat for anybody else. I can cook for you, but if you want to eat it, that's up to you. Again, I can teach you workshops. And if you afterwards going to work with what I teach you, is up to you. Or if you just run from one workshop to the other one and try to get more and more, this is greediness that just holds you back. Because if you have no basic, When you learn something, you need to go into it and do it. It's like when you learn cooking, you know. It doesn't help if you learn cooking and tomorrow you go and learn something completely different. You might forget your cooking skills, and once you stand in the kitchen and want to prepare a meal, you don't know how to do it because you forgot. And this is with everything like this. And this is the year that will test you with things like that. And will also test you with all the past things, your past, what happened in your past. It might be that things from your childhood are coming up. And this is what we see here in the 12th house. Here is Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Your personality is pushed into 12th house. That means your personality will not play a role here in what is happening. It is only your consciousness, and that will determine what happened to you. And in that way, it is very often that hidden things from the past are coming up, ready to be transformed. Pluto here, the ruler of Scorpio, which is the goal here. You can see the MC. That is the goal in this year, in this dragon energy, that it is all about your personal transformation. And first we have to go into that underworld, and there is that beautiful story in the Greek mythology that shows us in pictures that like Persephone, she goes into the underworld, have to let go of many different things, and then is being symbolically reborn as her daughter. And that means that, you know, the child or the daughter, there is certain innocence and there is a new beginning. It's not all the old burden that we still have and have to carry along with us. So this is the thing that will happen. You might have memories, you might have dreams, or you suddenly meet somebody from your childhood that you lost, and are maybe confronted with a topic that you have not thought about it for centuries, you know, for decades, not centuries. So that will be the past life stuff. That will also come back. And this is like that déjà vu. You know, you are going somewhere and you have a feeling, gosh, I should know that, or that person, I should know that person, but you have never met that person or that situation or that place in this lifetime. So that is the remembering of our Akash, that this is from a past life. And it doesn't really matter when it was, if it's 1,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. It is just something that is not cleared yet. And with Capricorn means that we look at things and we clear it and we let it go. And that is the main topic that we have here. And see, the first house is quite big and it has Aquarius inside of it, activated only by Saturn. And if you also look at the aspects that we have here, there is just a little, you see the orange shining through here, karmic aspect that is going through Mars. And that means also that we have to, one of the things is that we have to balance strongly is the male energy. The male energy has been dominant in the last few thousand years. Now it has to be balanced with the female energy. And it does not really matter if you're in the physical body of a man or a woman. On the soul level, you're both. And I can guarantee you, all you men who might listen to this, you have been women before. You have done everything what the women today do. You also have given birth and you have experienced the miracles of motherhood, even if that today is a topic that people don't really understand anymore, especially those who want to change their gender and are deceived in believing something, you know, from, it's like polarity. There are two poles, right? There is yin and yang, breathing in, breathing out, and there's nothing in between. That's the same story with the genders. There's nothing in between. That's how our original blueprint of the human body is made. And even if like through operation, whatever you do change, the whole body structure, muscles, and many other things are still from your blueprint of the other gender. This is something you cannot change. So I think it is much easier and much better move through these lifetimes towards happy ending. Well, it's from the physical perspective, we don't have a happy ending because we're ending in death. But once you understand that life never ends, that we are immortal beings, we just leave the body behind. And then it's our free choice if we want to come back into a physical body or move on in another dimension, depending again what we have achieved and what is our consciousness level. And again, we are not being judged. We are just having a certain, like, for example, if you finish first grade, right, and you know everything about fourth grade, you've been a really good student, you're ready to move on into second grade. But if you have not paid attention and you cannot move on because you don't have the basics, you might still go into second grade or you might still be accepted, but then it's really a struggle. And maybe then you don't make it to third grade. And this is the same with our lifetimes. And this is why the so-called old souls that have had many, many lifetimes here before, that they will be the leaders of the new time because they have already all the experience. And even more beyond that, those old souls, they have already gone through processes that the earth is going through now before on other planets. So in a way, they know what to do, they know the outcome, and they can help people in their waking up process, and also in the coming time when we are moving in different energy ways, how to do things, how to handle the earth, and everything will be again more benevolent, and we move forward into a much easier life when this dark energy is not here anymore. And this is a really fantastic year we're going into. I don't say it's easy. It will not be easy, that I can guarantee you, but we can be really happy and proud of us that we made it to be here now, because we are chosen to be here. We are here now because we are ready for that next step. And many younger souls who are among the older ones are now ready to become the leaders afterwards in societies that are waking up and have to go through the same process as is happening here. And now we can see that when we look again at here, Mercury, that is the personality, we said the persona, the mask that we carry. Mars is our energy. Venus is our creativity, ability to love also. And here that is all together with Pluto. So our abilities are going now through that underworld to be tested, first of all, if it's something that we should keep or not. And I think there are a lot of things we can keep, like skills and understanding and what we have learned to move into a higher frequency. And all the heavy stuff that does not really belong to us and also stresses us will be taken away. So it's okay if relationships are going apart. Bless the other person and know that they have to go their journey and you have to go yours. Or bless whatever is happening around you, even when it's time to change the job, or even if you get sick, because illness is one of the most powerful teachers we have. And you can refer to my previous videos. I was having a series, I talk about illness and why we get sick and what illness really means, far beyond what allopathic medicine is. So we need to move on, and this is all what will happen depending where you are on your very personal journey. You will be confronted with everything which is not balanced, and then to go through that underground or underworld, and you are being relieved of everything that does not belong to you. Because then afterwards, when you come out, we can say from the Sagittarius energy, Jupiter energy, the new life really can start. But you cannot take your old ideas, your old programming, and yet the old stuff that is still lingering around with you into the new. It wouldn't make sense. we have to let go. And this is that narrow path we are going. You know, when you go up a mountain, down the road is still very wide and we are moving forward easily. But once we are moving higher and higher and higher up, the road get more narrow, more steep, and there we encounter less and less and less people until we come up and we reach the top. And this is what we are doing now. We are not walking anymore with the masses. This is a personal initiation path of these years that we are going. And there is a lot of things that we have to let go. And you will see that also in the physical world around us, things will be taken away from us that do not belong to us. So I encourage you to prepare yourself also for this time, to ask your spiritual guidance, to get up every morning and ask for guidance. Like, you know, for example, I surrender to the divine within and ask to be guided. Please tell me what I need to know. It is not so much about asking a lot of questions, because what we need to know, we don't know yet. We cannot ask for something we don't know. So if you ask to be told what you need to know, then you're on the right path, and you will get that guidance that you need. And connect with your entourage, or your, I call it the upstairs team, or ancestors that are with you, because this is very important. They are all here to guide us. They are up there around us and everywhere. And just kind of please ask, please ask, so we can help. And when you don't ask, they are not allowed to help. So the moment you ask, please tell me what I need to know, please protect me, help me along on my journey, then they can, and you will feel this, and you will experience the blessings, what it does for you when you are connected with more than just the ego and the material wishes and desires. But this will be much more and much more powerful. And then we can say that this blue line here, the Venus, the in a way we can say the love energy within us. Here the gift is with Uranus, that this gift will connect us to the higher self, to the divine within, until we are this, we can say, that lighthouse, that we are shining from inside out, that we are walking the road, and we are like a light for everybody else that we encounter on the planet. Okay, I hope that helps you a little bit to understand what is happening at this Chinese New Year dark moon, and what is up for us for that year to come. Of course, there are more moon cycles again every 28 days, but always when a significant shift is happening, we can see that like a year, or like that this is the lunar year before we had the solar year. There is a certain topic that is triggered, and when you remember the solar year that I talked about with the Sagittarian energy, that goes very well, and there is absolutely no tension between the two horoscopes, if I look at it more clearly. I wish you a great day. Enjoy, have a good meditation, and we'll talk soon again. I see you in my next reading, which will be the next full moon. Thank you. Bye-bye.